How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and today I wanted to take my Pixel 6 and compare it to the Pixel 10, right? The Pixel 6 being the first Google Pixel device that showcased the new Tensor processor lineup and the future of Google going forward. A lot of people were upset. They were like, oh, it should stay with Qualcomm, but you know, I digress. That's for a different topic, different discussion. But I figured, why not, you know, take the Pixel 10 and put it up and see, you know, if we have any like drastic noticeable differences between the Pixel 6 and the Pixel 10. And I can tell you guys, for the most part, you know, just playing around with both of these devices, there's not a huge difference. Like, you're not going to see a super noticeable difference. Like, the Pixel 6 is not running a choppy frame rate as you're scrolling through stuff. It's still quite smooth. Now, it's not as smooth as the Pixel 10, and both of them are set at 60 hertz refresh, just to give you guys, you know, a little idea here. I don't run smooth display. I don't care for a higher refresh rate on things. I mean, yes, it looks cool. It makes it feel fluid and snappy, but it's not important to me. And so both are running at a 60 hertz refresh, and you definitely can see that the Pixel 10 is a little bit smoother than the Pixel 6. So that's one thing that you will kind of notice. But again, the Pixel 6 is not running like, you know, it's stuttering to scroll or anything like that. So even though it's got, you know, the Tensor G1 processor, it's not obsolete feeling, I think. And the reason why I say that is just because, you know, I have like my iPhone 11 Pro Max and I have an iPhone 12. And the iPhone 11 Pro Max at times does feel a little bit choppy when you're scrolling through it. So it is starting to show its age. And with the Pixel 6, that's not the case here. The 6 is much larger than the Pixel 10. So I think that was one of the shockers when it first released on October 19th of 2021, was, you know, people coming from a Pixel 5 to the Pixel 6, they were like, wow, this thing is huge. The Pixel 10 is smaller than the Pixel 6, body size. Display size, not by a drastic giant, you know, difference, 6.3 on the Pixel 10 and 6.4 on the Pixel 6. So anyways, yeah, I'm just like running these little tests here to see, like, you know, which apps open up quicker. You guys haven't been noticing that for a while, like, just for a minute now. And yeah, they're not too far apart. And you know, some people might say, well, that's a bad thing for the Tensor G5 because it means that, you know, it's not as powerful as, you know, Google claims it to be, and that's not really the case here. The Tensor G1, yeah, you can see a little bit, you know, of like its age. Obviously, there are some apps that are loading much faster than what the Pixel 6 can do. I think X was the only one that loaded faster on the Pixel 6 compared to the Pixel 10. But majority of the other apps, they're opening a hair faster on the Pixel 10 over the Pixel 6. And by right, it should be that. It should be that because, I mean, what's the point of having a new processor, especially built by a new foundry, and it performed exactly the same as the first generation? Now, when it comes to the Tensor processors, these processors are more outlined and geared towards AI than anything. So they're not geared up to be the best processors for mobile gaming with, you know, high demand. And yeah, as much as people will scream and shout, like, hey, you know, they need to go back to Qualcomm. No. So anyways, with gameplay seems to be okay with both of these phones, the Pixel 6 and the Pixel 10. They did pretty good, in my opinion. Of course, Pixel 10 did open up Pokemon Go a little quicker and loaded up the world map a little faster than the Pixel 6. So, like, the difference is when it comes to the processing power of these two chips, the Tensor G1 and the Tensor G5, you can kind of see a difference in it. And it's good because it's not a drastic big difference where it just pretty much like shatters the G1 and makes it seem like a super obsolete chip. Because the Tensor processors they're not thought of to be that way. So it's able to handle majority of what you're doing, but the Pixel 10 is showing to be a better performer. Now, when it comes to connectivity, because both of them still rock an Exynos modem, I believe the Pixel 10 is the Exynos 5400, and I forgot what the Pixel 6 is. It's like a 5125 or something like that. I don't remember. Someone drop a comment, let me know. But I can tell you guys right now, we're going to compare the 5G connectivity. Both are on Google Fi, so that uses T-Mobile's 5G network. I'm going to run them differently, like one after another, instead of at the same time. I'm not trying to have them compete of who has dominance of priority for the connection. I just want you guys to see what type of 5G connectivity for me, because in my area, I'm kind of in a small T-Mobile dead spot. So like one block west, one block north, and one block south picks up very good connectivity with the modems. But where I am currently at, it is very, very weak signal, almost like a dead spot. And so, yeah, I'm not going to have the greatest speeds at home. I go a block in any direction and it picks up faster speeds. But yeah, you guys see the results on the Pixel 10 with the downlink and uplink, as well as, you know, the loaded ping times, and then on the Pixel 6. And then, you know, a lot of people have had problems with the Pixel 6's connectivity, but over the years, especially with many updates, and that has been rectified. So I have noticed with the Pixel 6, I've had no problems connecting to the 5G network or getting even good, decent speeds, especially reliable speeds. So if I had to say anything about Pixels going back to Qualcomm, it would be for the modem. I would like the Snapdragon, you know, what was it, X80, I think is the latest one. I could be wrong, but I think that, you know, it would fare better with connectivity to the networks. Cameras between these two, of course, I'm not comparing telephoto because the Pixel 6 doesn't have one, but I'll put these up here for you guys to look at. Tell me which one you guys thought did a better job taking the photo of the orchid on my desk, which reminds me I have to water that orchid. But yeah, this is from the main camera. So overall between these two, I think, you know what, there's not a marginal huge difference as far as performance, but I do want to let people know that there is a noticeable difference in performance between the Pixel 10 and the Pixel 6. So saying, you know, that the Tensor G5 is an upgrade and that the Pixel 10 is an upgrade from the Pixel 6, absolutely it is, but it's not a marginal upgrade that shatters the Pixel 6 and everything that's recognized for. And I think that's what people need to notice.